I returned to Ruin Chapel with the 4 hearts of the last successors. We had to hurry, for Loom's time was running out, and those hearts would not keep beating forever.
Miasamasa Brondaga
Jo Manel.
Oro, oro,
I entered into my memory, the red memory. I had to find a way to locate that flower. The weavers became extinct, dying one after another, and only I remained. They taught me how to produce silk, how to be more weaver than worm. They trust me with a purpose, seeing me as the successor who will redeem the weavers. I remember this place. Here my mother rested after falling into that goddamn eternal dream. Distant village. There she was, the one who carried me in her womb, who gave me life, the queen of the beasts. Hera. She sacrificed everything so I could be born. She made that pact with the Pale King and was sealed to contain the radiance. In the end, that purpose was in vain, and the ghost ended her life. She never wanted me to follow the Weaver's purpose. She wanted me to see beyond it. Another hope, another path. She wanted me to find my own purpose. This place, the Hive, my mentor lived here. The queen of the beasts, Vespa. She was the one who gave me my name, Hornet. She trained me for what was coming, prepared me for the cruelty of this world. Being good was not enough. I had to be better, much stronger, much faster, day after day without rest. But in the end, the radiance reached the Hive, and everyone fell to it. The White Palace, the flower was near. I could feel it. The White Lady, wife of the Pale King, Queen of Hollowness. She knew the methods used to raise me were harsh, but they had to be. Only that way could the purpose be fulfilled. Only that way could I make a better war on my own. The White Lady understood. I was the bridge to the future, the new hope.
Merma. Akoman.
For having grown and endured so much pain, to understand that purpose, she granted me the Ever Bloom. The snail shamans died after performing the ritual. Now, I could understand everything the weavers had to sacrifice for this moment to arrive. Even though I didn't carry that weight on my shoulders, I felt responsible. I still had to end the course and the void. I had to return to the abyss and finish this odyssey once and for all. I returned to Deep Docks for one last descent. It seemed that Ballo had repaired the diving bell during my absence. He was surprised that I had survived the fall and escaped the depths on my own, but now I needed him to take me back down one last time. He agreed without hesitation. As I descended through those tunnels, I began to reflect on what happened in this kingdom. I had finally reached a conclusion. Now I could understand everything. Before the arrival of Grandmother Silk, this land had ruled by the ancient successors. They ruled their own tribes coexisting independently. A diverse but vibrant kingdom. But then, Grandmother Silk came, a higher being, a deity, a god. She granted the inhabitants the silk and the song. These two simple concepts became the foundation for everything that came after. Grandmother Silk unified the tribes of Farloom, conquered some, and left others in oblivion. She gave power to the parlets, simple spiders who gained the ability to produce silk. This silk was what allowed them to evolve into what we now know as the weavers. Grandmother Silk told them that they were her daughters and that they had to worship her no matter what. For a time, Farloom adapted to this way of life. During that time, Grandmother Silk created two daughters, made entirely of silk, Phantom and Lace. Phantom was the firstborn and the first to be forgotten by her mother, sent to Bilgewater to guard the rear entrance to the citadel. This led to the creation of her second daughter, Lace, who rejected the inheritance she had been given. She felt she had been created only as a tool for affection, not as a genuine desire of companionship or recognition. This caused in her deep frustration and hatred toward that bond. It made her hate her mother and herself. She longed for the mother's acknowledgement. One day, the weavers discovered that Grandmother Silk was controlling the inhabitants of Farloom through her silk threads. This was the breaking point that led the weavers to design a plan to seal her away. They imprisoned her inside a cocoon at the peak of Farloom. But even asleep, her influence still spread along the kingdom. That's how the weavers decided to leave Farloom and go to a land where they could not be found, Hollownest. Somehow, Grandmother Silk found their location and began to sending expeditions to bring them back. That's how I was captured. That's how my journey began. Grandmother Silk was deep within the Sea of Void. She resisted succumbing to its power only because Lace was inside. She wanted to save her daughter. With the Everbloom, I could dive through the void. If Lace was taken out of the abyss, everything would end. The void and the silk would vanish forever, and Farloom would be free. Or in other words, I just wanted Lace to put her huge ass in my face. There she was, Lace, even if her only shadow remained. To release her mother's grip, my blade would see it slain. I had survived the fury of this land. I had borne its bards and its blades, but always I had remained a daughter of Hollownest, and the void below all things. That darkness I would fear no longer. It was time for the last battle. One last dive.
ケストラ。
Honestly, I really enjoyed this game. It's one of the best video games I've ever played in my life. Recently, I noticed Silksong was nominated to Game of the Year. I don't think this game will win this award because, even though the game is excellent, it's not innovative in any aspect. I believe that award will go to Clear Obscure Expedition 33, and honestly, it deserves it. Anyway, may the best one win. I also noticed Haito was saved yesterday. I feel happy for Simon, and for those who think I finished the game too late, the truth is, I completed Silksong 100% during the first week it was released. I'd even dare to say I was one of the first 100 players to finish Silksong completely. But I have university studies and also a life to live, so I can't make videos very often. But I still try to stay consistent. Thank you for everything, Silksong. When Teen Cherry releases a DLC, I'll be one of the first players to complete it, and I will try to upload it to my channel as fast as possible.